and a pleasant Friday, and welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. I'm Jim Byers alongside Rodney Nelson as we get set for a Friday of action here. We are fast and firm on the racetracks, a little cloudiness, 93 degrees as we get started, and last week it was kind of like, wow, we can't believe it's early July with the temperatures. It's starting to be more believable that it's the summer now.
I think we're going to make it all the way through the meet without hitting 100, though, which is very good. We haven't hit 100 degrees yet in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and doesn't look like it's going to happen this weekend either. So that's all we got is 3 more days left. We can go 3 days without hitting 100 degrees. I think it'll be the first time I can remember we've ever done that.
Yeah,
or not done that.
That is quite a rarity. All right, we got 8 races tonight. We got 9 tomorrow. 9 on Sunday as well. 135 starts there. Big fields all weekend. Should be a fun weekend of racing. Let's get on with the action here in race number 1. First race, maiden 2-year-old fillies going 5.5 furlongs. Scratch number 5, Gambling Den, out of the first race. It's understandable that the 8 Hot Pink would be a favorite in here, but she's coming back really fast after racing here on Saturday. The ones that have run, Chicka Chick being the other one in particular, really haven't shown a whole lot. So I see you're going for a first-timer. I'm going for almost exclusively first-timers. This might be the kind of race, not to take anything away from Hot Pink or Chicka Chick, but this might be the kind of race to go against the experience.
Right, and if you go against the experience here and you happen to hit a nice trifecta or whatever, it probably paid pretty decent. A lot of these first-time starters, they don't take a whole bunch of money. But it's a nice, large field of 9 after that one scratch, so it should be a good betting race. I went with number 3, Appeal, 8-1 morning line on Appeal, first-time starter here for Abel Ramirez Rodriguez, Ramon Vasquez with the mount. When these two guys team up out here at Lone Star Park, they've had 61 starts together, 30% winners with those two guys. So I think that's a pretty big thing right there, winning 3 out of 10, getting some good odds on Appeal. I'll go ahead and take this first-time starter, number 3, as my top choice. I went with Hot Pink as my second selection. The very first start, this horse got beat by the winner of his next start, and that was in the Texas Thoroughbred Association Futurity last time out. As you mentioned, it was just a week ago.
Yeah.
I don't have that big of a problem with this horse coming back. I mean, didn't look like he put in a lot of effort, I would say, that day. I mean, got beaten by 8.5 lengths in a field of 12. Was out of it halfway through the race. So, you know what, I think Hot Pink should be ready to go today. And then I got number 10, El Sunshine, on the far outside as my third choice. Taking this one based on the jockey trainers as well. Brett Calhoun, 60% in the money so far this meet. 6 out of 10. I'll take those odds on a first-time starter to get up and hit the board. I got 3, 8, and 10.
Yeah, I'm going with El Sunshine on top in here. Really good work pattern, a whole string of works dating back to the first week of this meet. Some of those are pretty fast. My philosophy with 2-year-olds is, really with any first-timer, is I want to see a little bit of speed, ideally, somewhere in the works, even if it's a trainer that doesn't ask for a lot of speed in the morning, and some ask for more than others out of their charges. You don't have to see nothing but fast works, but, this El Sunshine, she has a really good work 2 workouts ago, really productive gate work back on June 14th, another couple of reasonably quick half miles in late May and early June. Her dam, Mirabeau, was really good. 3rd in her debut and then won 4 straight and then was retired. So the dam won 4 out of 5. The sire was a grade 1 winning sprinter back in New York, won the Vanderbilt. So there's definitely speed possibility there. I like Appeal also. The first foal out of Amerimaid to make the races. Second crop from Tiz the Law, the stallion. Now, Amerimaid, the dam of Appeal, did not race. But her mother, the grandmother of Appeal, was really good. Earned almost $500,000, won 8 races, and won at first asking. So if it can come from the grandmother down to the filly here, she could be very precocious. So, and I'd watch for Via on the inside, puts on blinkers, had a lot of speed in her debut, and will probably be leading turning for home. We'll see how good that Texas Thoroughbred Association Futurity was. Pretty right off here with Lana Lua was a really nice rallying winner in that one, and Hot Pink, ran behind her, but also Via ran behind her in the previous race for that filly. On to the second. A mile on the turf in race 2. There is not much early speed in this one. Might compromise the closers, but I went with a closer anyway, hoping the pace kicks up a little bit. Race 2 is for fillies and mares 3 and up. You can be in for $25,000. You can be a non-winner of 3 lifetime, or you can be a non-winner of 2 other than maiden claiming starter or state bred allowance.
Yeah, I went with the horse on the inside, number 1, Maybe Dulce. So this horse has only had 1 start so far this calendar year. That came right back here on May the 30th, so it wasn't that long ago, a little over a month. Went around 2 turns, going 7.5, and guess what? Maybe Dulce won that race by 3/4 of a length, coming from behind to do so. That was the only race, like I said, for the horse this year. But if you take a look at how this horse has done on the grass throughout her career, 6 starts, has a couple wins, a second and a third as well. So 4 out of 6, this filly has been able to hit the board on the grass. Has a win right here at Lone Star Park. That was the most recent one. I love horses making their second start after a layoff, especially if they won that first time back. I think maybe Dulce might be ready to go today. Number 4 is going to be my second choice. That is Geometric. This is a horse that we've seen out here 7 different times at Lone Star Park, and it's hit the board in 6 of those 7 times. So not bad at all there. And then let me see here.
You got the 4.
I got some.
But
I got 2 sets of numbers written down here. Yeah, I'll take Geometric second, and then I got the 4 Fine Finish as my third selection here. Fine Finish, this horse was a runner-up last time out. Missed that race by a length and 3/4. It came right here on the turf, going around 2 turns. Horse has a pretty good record here, a win and a second from 3 tries. I like Fine Finish as my third choice. I got it 1-3-4 here in race number 2.
Yeah, Fine Finish is the only 3-year-old in this field. Oddly enough, both of her wins have come on dry, fast tracks. She's run 6 times on the turf. She has made a nice amount of money on the turf, almost $42,000 on it, running primarily at fairgrounds where the purses are pretty good. She also has a turf race and a pretty good one at that at Churchill where the purses are super high. I'm going with Kentucky Angel in this one. She comes out of the Wasted Tears, which was back there on the Texas Turf Festival Day. She was 50-1, kind of ran like it, but was at the end was only beaten about 9 lengths, even though she ran 8 out of 11. Never really had a chance at that one. But prior races before that, more in this realm of competition, she's quite competitive, and she is a closer, but Geometric's a closer. Fine Finish likes to lay closer to the pace. Maybe Dulce's a closer. There's a lot of really good closers in here. Actually, a filly like Fine Finish, if she's not tested up front, her time form pace figure is rather low, but she at least likes to be forwardly placed in some of her races. This could become a paceless race and might set up for somebody like that, but I'm going to try Kentucky Angel. I think she'll fit well with Luis Quinones again. And she ran really well here the second week of the meet, and then really had no chance in the race after that. But I'm looking for a little price there. Race 3. Race 3 matches 3-year-olds and up in for a maiden claiming tag of $20,000. They'll go 1 mile.
Yeah, I'm on number 7, King of the Disco. What I like about this horse is if you look at how often this horse is running claiming races, it's 5 different times. Out of those 5 different claiming races, this horse has 3 seconds, a third, and a fourth. Hadn't been able to pick up that win yet, but when his horse has been running in maiden claiming races, have been running very well, been able to earn a check or 2. And I think that King of the Disco coming in here in this spot looks to be the best of this field, so I'll take the 7 on top here. My second choice is going to be number 2, that is Drama King. This horse has had 3 third-place finishes out here at Lone Star Park out of 5 tries. Last time out, the horse ran 6th. Let's cross a line through that one, focus on the work before that. Back-to-back third-place finishes here at this meet. I mean, this horse has already been out here on the racetrack 5 times so far this meet.
Yeah.
Definitely understands the surface. And, I think maybe this horse might have a decent chance today. I got Drama Queen second. Then I took number 9, Falcon Quest, as my third choice. This horse was running at the Fairgrounds, Turfway, Churchill Downs last year. And, had some decent races there. This horse was claimed the last start of last year. That was back in June. Took some time off all the way up until May of this year. Got back on our track in some maiden special weight races. Ran second at that first time back, so that wasn't bad at all. The 2 since then, there's a lot to be desired from those 2 starts. Yeah. But coming in here for the tag, we'll see what Falcon Quest can do. Give me it 7, 2, and 9 in race 3.
I'm going to take a shot with him. Asmussen typically finishes meets well here, and he's in a battle with Abel Ramirez Rodriguez for the training title. They're 1-2 right now coming into this closing week. Falcon Quest is one of these definitely needs to drop. I mean, he was going in maiden special weights here this meet. Like you mentioned, the first race was okay against defending Albert on a sealed track. The last 2 races on dry fast track sprinting, he really hasn't accomplished much, wasn't particularly competitive in either of those while not being disgraced. Now he gets to stretch out, takes on a field of relatively long-term maidens, takes on a lot of 3-year-olds as well, and he's 4. I don't know if that'll really help him in this case, but he's been a mile or longer, just enough to satisfy me that he'll be fine with the distance. Don't love his recent form. The issue that I have with King of the Disco, I just think he might be a little bit better on the turf, and he's going on the dirt this time, but he's going to be a short price, and justifiably so. King of the Disco, he's very consistent. He's going to run about a Beyer fig of about 50 because he does that every single time. And I guess if you can beat that number, you can win this race. Noble Reigns, worth a little look, has been off since Oaklawn, had a very long Oaklawn meeting. Raced a whole bunch of times at Hot Springs over that long season, was pretty much overmatched in maiden claiming company there. But the switch here picks up Vasquez. Could be a chance for Cameron Milligan to get his first local win. On to the 4th. Scratch the 1 Double Barrel Vinny. He was entered in this race and then won broke his maiden, I should say, on Saturday, so he's not eligible anymore. Maiden special weight Texas breds. These are 2-year-olds. They're going 5/8 of a mile, so scratch the 1. This race starts the pick 5, $909 in the carryover.
I went with number 3. That's Preacher Man here in race number 4. I'm trying to beat this horse that has that 1-to-1 morning line flash out. But Preacher Man and Flash Out, they both come from the Gerald Caldwell barn. Preacher Man's only had 1 start. Now, that came in the Staunch Avenger division of the Texas Stallion Stakes. Ran second in that race. I mean, it was only a field of 4, but the horse did run second, was beaten by 11.5, so it seems like a big margin to defeat. But if you look how far in front of Preacher Man was from the third-place horse, this horse was another 14 3/4 in front of the third-place horse. So a very spread out finish of that Texas Stallion Stakes, the Staunch Avenger division. But I do like the horse ran second in that one. Looking for an improvement there. I mean, this horse did put it on the third-place horse. So we'll see what happens. But, that even money I don't really care for that much. Give me one with a little bit better odds. I did take Flash Out second. This horse has had 3 starts, all of them coming right here on our track. Has a second, a third, and a fourth. Who knows? This might be the time the horse picks up the win. But I went with the other Gerald Caldwell horse. And then I got number 8, Big Time Charlie, as my third choice here. Put in a bullet workout last time out. That was the 6th of July, 1 of 28 on the morning. Had some decent works before that as well. First-time starter for Karen Jacks. I got it 3, 2, and 8 here in race 4.
Yeah, as far as Big Time Charlie goes, his dam was 0 for 4. Cinco Charlie, though, produces a lot of horses that are precocious and that win fairly early. And like you say, this Big Time Charlie has a nice lineup of works coming into this. I am going for the favorite here. I mean, he's been a money burner of sorts. in his last two. I mean, he's run second and third, both times below even money. But the thing is, last time he faced It's All Right, who was brilliant over the weekend coming back to win, and Walker's Creek, who's a very promising Austin Gustafson 2-year-old. Running third to those two on June 15th is certainly no disgrace. In fact, it's kind of a feather in his cap. Race before that, he ran against Old Money, who's such a nice winner that he wound up over the 4th of July weekend at Prairie and finished second as the favorite, the Prairie Gold Juvenile. So Old Money looks like he's pretty good. Plus, he ran into Lexi's Comeback in his debut, and Lexi's Comebacks had a nice win here this meet. So suffice to say, he's going to be a short price favorite, but I'm going to give him the look here. Preacher Man is intriguing. Also reminds me of the Dusty Springfield classic, Son of a Preacher Man.
I know that one.
Oh, yeah. That one's a big enough hit. That's a little bigger hit than Vehicle by Ides of March, I must say. Although both are quite cool songs, in my opinion. On to the 5th. 5/8 of a mile on turf for race 5. 3-year-olds and up. First level allowance. Scratch the 10 Imperial Redbird. That takes some depth out of the field, and it takes a lot of points out of the morning line. So we ended up on the same horse here, Hoff. But Let's Go Mark is the 9's going to end up a really short price because he was a lukewarm morning line favorite, but with Imperial Redbird out of there, money is going to funnel into him and Hoff. So don't expect to get 3-1 or 5-1 on the top two picks in this one.
Yeah, I think Hoff might be the winner here in race number 5. I mean, last time out, this horse went 5 furlongs on the turf right here at Lone Star Park. Broke that maiden, did it by 2 3/4 lengths. This horse has only had 4 starts. That was the first one here in Texas, the only one here in Texas, and it looked good. The 3 before that, I mean, this horse was running up at Churchill Downs and Kentucky Downs. You look at that debut at Kentucky Downs, a solid second in that one. That's a pretty nice check in one of their races up there. Hoff, I think this horse coming back, second start after a layoff. And that win, the one back after that layoff was a win. I think there's a lot to like about this 4. I got the 9, Let's Go Mark, as my second choice. This horse was in the Chamberlain Bridge 2 starts back. That was, guess what, 5 furlongs on the turf like this one. Ran a good second in that one, just missing by a neck to Usually Wrong. Yeah. And I think I read a little bit from Mary Rampolini, the DRF today, Usually Wrong. They were hoping he'd pick up a win out at Del Mar and then stay out there for Breeders' Cup. So,
wow. Well, he did. Usually Wrong set the course record in the race after the Chamberlain Bridge just a couple of weeks ago. And, I wouldn't be surprised. As a turf sprinter, Usually Wrong is so good right now. I'd give him a shot out there. At least give him a shot at Del Mar and see if he likes that course. And
even if he doesn't, the weather's nice out there this time of year.
It's a nice place to spend August.
But, but that horse isn't in here. Usually Wrong, though. Solid horse. But Let's Go Mark is. I think this horse could run pretty decent tonight after that showing in the Chamberlain Bridge. Number 7, Catalina Crush. That's my third choice here. This horse has had 2 starts so far in 2025. The first one at Oak Lawn, finished 8 of 10 in that race, beaten by over 11 lengths. But then came here, ran in a turf sprint, 5 furlongs on May the 30th in Allowance Company. Ran a decent 4th, only missed by a length in that one. I think Catalina Crush has got what it takes to get up and hit the board. 4, 9, and 7 for race 5.
Yeah, Catalina Crush. Now, it's been a little over a month since he ran, but really eye-opening gate work for a half mile on June 29th. We might end up overthinking this with picking against Let's Go Mark. His Beyer fig in the Chamberlain Bridge was 91, which, is really, really solid stakes-type numbers. He's never quite matched that in any of his other races. Most of his turf sprints are quite good. But I'm going to give Hoff a shot, too. When this horse debuted at Kentucky Downs, I watched that race. He tried hard. He was beaten by about 3 lengths, but he was 2 1/4 lengths clear of the third horse. He got a really good Beyer fig, 61, which for a 2-year-old, as Rick Lee always says, you're going to add about 10 points to that, adjusting for the 2-year-old figs are depressed a little bit. And he, after a couple of dirt races at Churchill, that clearly he's a turf guy, came back here and looked super now. He was beating maidens, but he might be a special kind of turf sprinter, so I'm going to take him too. I went back and rewatched Eric's ride. It was a confident ride. He did go to the crop right-handed 3 times in the whole length of the stretch. Nothing big, very good, confident ride. And so he may have had some left in the tank. So give him a shot. Let's go. Mark's going to end up being a short price now with the scratch in there. But race 6, this is a really good field. This is just no conditions, just a allowance event. 3-year-olds and up, 1 mile on the main track. This is like a stakes race, basically. You got horses coming out of stakes in some cases, and a really good field.
Yeah, like a graded stakes race. I mean, we got 4 of them coming out of the Steve Sexton Mile. That's a graded race out here.
It is.
I got number 4, Mine That Star, in this race. So, we've seen this horse out here at Lone Star Park 3 times. That happened earlier on in this horse's career. Hadn't picked up the win. Did have a second out here, so not bad at all there. That was last year in May in an allowance race. Since then, all this horse has done is running stakes races. Yep. We see stakes races at Prairie Meadows, Remington, the Downs at Albuquerque, Zia, Sunland. I mean, this horse was all over New Mexico running his stakes races. The one at Remington, the Governor's Cup, I mean, that's a very solid race. Ran 3rd in that one. Put together back-to-back wins after that, a 2nd, a 3rd, and most recently a win in a stakes race. So this horse definitely has the capability to get the job done in some of these bigger races. Ramon Vasquez gets the mount today. He leads the Colony. I think there's a lot to like about this 4-horse. Number 8, Bender. This is my second choice here. This horse was also a winner last time out. That came in an allowance race right here at Lone Star Park at this 1-mile distance as well. Won that race by a neck. Came on strong in the end to be able to pick up that win. I like this horse. This horse is a closer. Has spent some time in stakes races out in New Mexico as well. I think Bender is one to watch. And then I got the 2, Blue Devil, as my third choice. This horse ran 7th in the Steve Sexton Mile. It was a field of 10. But that was a graded stakes race there, $400,000. Before that, ran at $200,000. Finished 4th in that race out of 9. Behind Mine That Star in that race, my top choice. Had a win before that at Sunland Park in a stakes race. I like Blue Devil here as my third choice. 4, 8, and 2 is how I see the 6, but good race here.
This is a tremendous race. I never saw you as a Duke fan necessarily.
I like Duke.
Do you?
Yeah.
Right.
I believe it or not, I bet a lot of college basketball. Okay. Arizona's my team, but Duke's a second choice.
Cool.
And now
so you don't like A&M, but you love Duke.
Yeah, forget A&M. Yeah. But, Cooper Flagg now with Dallas Mavericks, so that's not bad at all. I think he scored 10 points.
I need to go back and watch. I recorded that Summer League
shouldn't have mentioned anything.
Oh, it's okay. I heard what he did, but I want to go back and watch something. Yeah, I mean, one of the thrills of my broadcasting career was one time filling in. I got to do an OU women's basketball radio broadcast at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
That's pretty neat.
And that was really cool. All that said, I'm going to try the 1 Creative Minister in this race, partially because I've just kind of been on his bandwagon all the way, and, it's hard to jump off the bandwagon once you become affixed to it. He started the year here with a really rousing upset turf win in his debut on the turf, but I think he's been handled very well by the connections because they ran him back in the Steve Sexton Mile, and why not? I mean, he was, I think he was 3rd in the Preakness one year. He's one of these guys that's great on the dirt, or he's very good on the dirt. So give him a shot in the Steve Sexton Mile. It's a $400,000 race. He runs a pretty good 4th in that one. Then they try him in the $250,000 Texas Turf Classic, which I think, again, was a good call because he had shown such promise on the turf. Give him a shot in the big turf race. Didn't run very well in that one. But now he's back on dirt. He draws the rail. He's a come from behinder. I think Louis Q will fit well with him. So I'm going to give him a shot. Puts blinkers on, so hopefully he won't fall quite as far back. As far as the others, Bender just ran a super race here when he got up to beat Hayes Strike. Mine That Star is a half to Mine That Bird, the Kentucky Derby winner of yesteryear. And, boy, he was really keen in that Sunray Park race last time. Like, he was pulling that rider just straight out of the saddle early on. He was fighting the rider. He won the race and won it legitimately, just barely over Bender. I didn't love the way he finished. And one other note about this race, without a trace, the 9, I got him 4th because he was blocked and lacked room a whole bunch of the stretch drive in that race with Bender and Hayes Strike last time, and eventually just gave up. I mean, you can only be blocked for so long before you just say, forget it. So the finish looks ugly, but I wouldn't be surprised if without a trace runs a nice race. On to the 7th. 3-year-olds and up. These are all older ones, though. $5,000 claimers with conditions on them. And the distance is 6 furlongs.
So I'm on It Makes Sense. That's the number 6 horse here. A second-place finisher last time out. Missed by a half a length in that one. That was in a $5,000 condition claiming race. So pretty much like this one today. A third before that. This horse has had some pretty good races in his career. I mean, it's a 10-year-old horse. It's picked up 12 wins out of 46 starts. So definitely knows how to earn a little bit of money, knows where the finish line is. We'll see if It Makes Sense can't notch another win tonight. Number 12, Changing Times. That's going to be my second choice here. If you look back, this horse put together 3 wins in a row right here at Lone Star Park last year. Those were the 3 wins out of 5 tries this horse has had. I think that this horse can run a good one. Changing Times, if you look 2 starts back, I mean, this horse was beaten by almost 30 lengths, was claimed out of that race. Last time out, this horse ran 5 of 9. A little bit better than that one. Was in for the $10,000 tag. That was on the turf. So now it's going in for $5,000 on the dirt track. We'll see if Changing Times and changing all that stuff up works for him. I think this will be a decent horse here. And then number 4, He's a Rock. That's going to be my third choice. 20-1 on the morning line. Was a 4th-place finisher last time out, but then had back-to-back seconds at Will Rogers Downs and $7,500 claiming races. If you look back, 4 starts back to September of last year at Remington Park, this horse was in a non-winners of 3 for the $10,000 tag. Won that race, led it from gate to wire. We'll see if He's a Rock can't get up there tonight. That's some big odds.
I'm going with a long shot in here, too, and I'm kind of wondering if he's going to be, in fact, 20-1, and that is the 13 Derby Date. It's a 14-horse field. No also eligibles or anything. It's just a 14-horse field. Derby Date for the Asmussens. Last time going 5.5 furlongs. Closed ground really, really well. It mentions mild rally in the comment. I mildly disagree with that. I think it was a really good rally, and he galloped out like a house of fire. And I think he'll like the extra 110 yards. His Oaklawn campaign was, at best, up and down, to say the least. But, I mean, Oaklawn is a different kettle of fish. I think he's going to like it here. I mean, as recently as last summer at Indiana, he was running for optional $40,000 claimers, and I mean, in one of those races, he put up an 89. Now, that was an aberration. But I'm going to try Derby Date over Run Happy Doro, who turns back from a mile back to a sprint. And I just have always kind of thought this guy had some ability. It makes sense. In the old days, he would have beaten these guys running backwards. He's not what he used to be. I thought he hung a little bit late last time. But, I mean, he looked like a winner last time, just came up, a half length shy. I was in a mood, though, to try to beat favorites today, so we'll see how that works out. Race 8, the final one, got a big high-five carryover. It's been a few days, or been a while since we had that turnover. 10,737, the carryover. 8th race, 7.5 on the turf for maidens. Scratch the 10, Measure of Faith. Scratch the 14, Tisabellarina. The 13 gets in.
Yeah, I went with number 11, absolutely certain here. This horse has had 4 stars, hadn't picked up that win yet, but if you look at the 2 most recent races, a 2nd and a 3rd place finish, both of them coming right here at Lone Star Park. If you look at the races before that, you got to look back to 23. This horse had 2 races, one at Ellis, one at Churchill Downs back in 2023. Took a long time off before getting back to the track, but a solid 2nd in that comeback race, a 3rd after that. We'll see if absolutely certain can't get the job done today, going around 2 turns on the turf. I got number 4, Crockett, as my second choice. This horse had a bullet workout on the 2nd of June. Went out and run on the 6th of June. Ran 5th in that race after being up there toward the front most of the way around. Absolutely certain was in that race as well, but did beat Crockett in that one. So I do think that Crockett could have a pretty decent run today. And then I got the 12 U-Time as my third choice. This horse has only had one start so far this calendar year. They came right here at this same distance on the turf course, ran a good third in that one, missed by a length and a quarter. But we'll see if Tom can't put together another decent one here today and see what this horse can do in the nightcap. 11, 4, and 12 is how I'll see the final race of the night.
Quick thought about your top pick. Who was your top
Absolutely
pick? Absolutely
certain.
Yeah. He was seriously blocked at the 8th pole in his last race. It mentions weighted turn, which he was in a lot of traffic, and that's true, but he also got pretty well blocked at the 8th pole and yet still was able to get by a couple and run a really nice third. He's come back in really good shape after a super long layoff. He's got a big shot in here. Crockett, last time out, had to accelerate to get into position in that race and did so very nicely under Ramon Vasquez, who keeps the mount. Crockett seemed to really take to the turf. I mean, he faded late, but he was up there on a contested pace. Kitty Code rallied from way back and won it at 36-1. But I think Crockett now, his second time stretching out, could be very dangerous. My top pick, though, is going to be the 3 Town Hero. This guy started out at Oaklawn in a couple of sprints. Both times he ran 7th. He basically ran the same race twice against maiden special weights there, which is very tough competition. His Beyer figs were 64 and then 58, so he regressed a little. And then he came here, and he ran a halfway decent mile behind Texie and Devil, who subsequently came back and won. And then last time they put him on the turf in that race with Crockett, and Absolutely Certain, and he ran a super second in that race. I think he's going to like the turf. He adds blinkers. So I'm going to go with him here in a very wide open race. There are a number of the fact there's at least 5 in this race that come out of the June 6th race that Town Hero, Crockett, Absolutely Certain, and Major Ortiz, who was a pacemaker in that race in his debut. They all come out of that same race on June 6th. Very competitive. And Major Ortiz, second time out for Mindy Willis, got tired late after setting the pace, but he could be a lot tougher to pass this time. It's a good way to end it. All right, that's it. You'll be in the paddock tonight.
Yes, sir.
Rodney will be in the paddock, so look for that. Thanks a lot for joining us. Please wager early. We've got 8 races coming up in 31 minutes. Thanks a lot for looking in, and enjoy your Friday.
In the event of an emergency, Lone Star Park is dedicated to ensuring the safety of our patrons.